So, what are the most significant consumer trends WGSN sees emerging in South Asia over the next 3 years?
I think we can, apart from WGSN, I think we all can see it. So three really big identifiers, if I say. One is joy, self-care. And the third and most important is relaxed, ease. Those are the three drivers which we have seen as major inputs for any trend forecast we have been doing for the last 2-3 years, for the next 3-4 years. So joy, when we say joy, it's not happiness. It's about finding joy in anything you do. So we call it as a glimmers profile. When we talk about glimmers as a story, what it essentially means is, even if I'm just walking down the road, doing nothing, and it's not a morning walk, I can find joy in something I see on the road. So when you start identifying experiences and try to link them to joy, is where the consumer and the mindset is heading. And when you look at being comfy, relaxed, you know, in the Gen Z lingo or the alpha lingo, and when you're vibing really well. So those are genuinely not any Gen Z aspect. Those are what our human minds are actually telling us to do. And those are the trends which reflect into what any brand essentially will need to make and adhere to. So when you look at being at comfort, being at ease, being into your own skin, essentially just means that you're being at home. So home was a trend which we identified back in 2018. So it was a trend for spring, summer, and autumn, winter 18. And we said home is going to become a big driver. We didn't know COVID's going to happen. And home did become a big driver, but not because of COVID. It was already there in psyche. So activewear actually, athleisure, typically, if you look at the history, it gained prominence during COVID. When people started working out at home, there was a lot of talk about immunity. So a lot of these new product innovations, they are already there, but they gain a lot of feel and appeal is because the way we guys are adopting or trying to just portray a certain behavior and they become trends. So those are the three essentials, if you ask me.
This is one personal question that it just came up to me. How is AI not going to help students?
Not going to help students.
Yeah, because everybody's like AI hai, AI, Chat GPT. They have now, what do you call this new Chinese app, DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all of these things. How is AI not going to help students?
So see, the point is AI as a foe is very, very evident. You're not learning anything. If you have to write or search anything and you have Chat GPTs or the DeepSeeks, or you ask Grok on Twitter, okay, pal, I need this, and they get an answer, it's a ready-made answer. So just to give an example, and this is a real story, by the way. So I was on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So I'm not the Gen Z, I'm the millennial, so I'm active on LinkedIn. But anyways, I've not been a social media person otherwise also. So one of my friends, he put in a critique to a very large e-com player, both apparently a client also. So, and I know all the people over there. So he put a large critique that I bought this turned out this, and his post was very nice, amazing. And I know him as a person. I know he could not have written this on his own. So I was very, very sly. I sent a message to a college WhatsApp group without realizing there were 470 plus people in that group. I said, @bhai, are you sure it's tera hai? And then I did something. So you can use AI to check whether something's from a Chat GPT or not. I just highlighted everything Chat GPT. And then I asked him, I said, what's your real problem? His real problem was actually 1/10 of what he portrayed on social media. And that is where AI becomes a challenge, because you try to learn something without actually learning about this. A lot of people use AI to write, a lot of our team members use AI to write marketing emails. My question is, at least first write one yourself. Make it grammar check using AI. But what people are essentially doing is they're writing AI. So when people ask me, will AI replace us? It will not, but it will if the way you're relying on it, it will. Because essentially you are yourself making yourself replaceable through AI. So AI is, I love artificial intelligence. We have been surrounded by artificial, not now, early ages. I don't know, ask your parents. Lala ki dukaan pe we used to have hisab rakhne ke liye, used to call that red book. They used to write on paper. All accounts used to happen over there. Excel came in. Microsoft Excel. It's also AI, by the way. Any technology is technically an AI. It's artificial intelligence. It allows you to do things which are manually little difficult to do if you learn on AI. So when you look at it from something which is a foe, it's only foe when we allow it to replace our own particular skill set, which we unfortunately somehow are doing.
Yeah. Again, to add on to that, I started my career into films, right? So that time, there was nothing like AI, ChatGPT, where we could refer to in our stories,
Yeah.
right? But today, a lot of ChatGPT films are made.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I mean, a lot of times we have to give the prompt, right? So even to prompt, you need to have that sort of base knowledge with you, right? So again, that is somewhere where it's not going to replace us in any way possible, right? Moving on, I just had a podcast session, an hour back. I had this one question to Mr. Tahir Sultan. Uh, when I entered into the business at JD, my mom, first thing she told me was that, Rinesh, tell me what is sustainable for you, cotton or silk? Yeah. My answer at that time was cotton. Because we've been brought up like cotton, 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 cotton. Then she was like, no, for me it's silk. Now we had a debate. Why? She explained me that silk is, of course, long lasting. Cotton, 4-5 washes, you're out. So what is your say on that particular aspect? What is sustainable for you, which is cotton or silk? Now I'm going to use this in all my panel discussions throughout my life. What is sustainable for you?
Neither.
Neither?
Nah. See, the point is, it's how you define sustainability. I can debate with you, silk is not sustainable.
Correct.
I can debate with you, cotton is sustainable, and vice versa. See, cotton is sustainable. You have a cotton shirt. I can eventually end up making it a pocha at my house.
Yeah.
It is sustainable in that sense. Silk, if you don't wear it, it is long lasting. It's going to take up space in Almira. How many times you can wear a silk sari? It is not at all sustainable. You have wasted a lot of resources. I can counter you on that also. But the whole point of sustainability is how you're going to utilize a product. I'm sorry, none of you are sustainable.
Yeah.
I'm not sustainable. I'm wearing shoes, I'm wearing clothes, I'm not at all sustainable. I cannot be wearing a watch. If we talk about real sustainability, none of us can actually be sustainable. But what sustainability essentially means, it's for businesses, it's actually a legal hassle. It's all theories, but it's all also legislations. And they have to adhere to legislations. But from a normal life, if we talk about, we can ourselves become sustainable. I can make cotton sustainable. I can have reuse of this cotton shirt, which you're wearing, multiple ways. I can have this jacket, it can pass on to maybe my children when I have.
Correct.
If they grow up and if I've kept it nicely, for that quality gets a due importance. So when brands are making products which are long lasting, you're by default making that product sustainable. How much wardrobe changes you do in apparel is also defines you as a person in sustainable. We are the ones who are talking about getting placed in fast fashion brands. We can't be talking about sustainability in that sense. It's very difficult to talk about sustainability, but it should become a way of life. Not something which we expect brands to do, but something which we ourselves needs to do. And I think if that is the case, even a fast fashion brand like Zara can become sustainable. Yeah.
A very honest answer, honestly. Whenever I ask a question about sustainability, everybody's like, oh, nice, this, that, sustainability is a thing, and all those things. But very honest answer. And guys, a huge round of applause for the honesty that he's, answered it to. I have a next technical question by the students. How does WGSN leverage data to forecast trends with accuracy?
A lot. So see, I'll talk about a basic process. So we have our own proprietary research called STEPEC. So what we're doing is we're tracking signals of change across social, society, equivalent, technology, STEPIC, environment, politics, industry, and creativity. So see what we essentially feel, and I've asked this question, this is off the beat, but I'm just going to ask this question. How many of you guys think, or let's say how many of you guys are from a creative industry?
Because everybody.
Raise your hands.
Yeah.
You're studying also, I believe. How many of you guys think you are creative?
I say that.
I also say I'm not at all from the design industry, but I'm very creative.
Yeah.
Now I'll ask a question. How many people you think you are utilizing your full creative potential at work? Full. 1, 2, anyone?
There's only one hand I can see. Second one.
Yeah.
Third one. Yeah.
So see, I'll tell you, very good. It's good. So there's a study. It's not a study which I'm quoting. There was actually a study done by NASA way back. So they studied 1,500 people from a creative field. They tried to map their creativity levels. So the most creative people are between 0 to 5 years of age. So children who play with broken toys at home, they talk amongst themselves. They're actually the most creative. We are unable to understand that because we are not at that level. So by the time you are adults, 18 years old, and actually the time when you start going into the industry, you're only utilizing 2% of your brain's creative potential. That's a general human. You can search on this. Until about 5 years of age, it's the percentage is around 95%, and everybody has a different levels of creativity, right? So WGSN tries to do the reverse. So when we look at trends, when you say using data, data can only give you predictive analytics. It's not just one small part. Anybody who can understand numbers, who can create graphs, you can understand which products sold well. And a lot of e-coms company, retail companies do that, which products are doing well. Brands do that themselves. They try to do a brand recce. They do a lot of analysis that, yes, last season these products did well. Next season these will well. Oh, there is a trend. 3 years in a row we saw good rise. But data can only give you an answer which is predictable. Forecasting is a combination of data and intuition. Analytics and intuition. You cannot just rely on data. You have to look at a lot of other factors, and there are various areas of research which we do. So STEPIC allows us to do that. Socioeconomic changes, lifestyle shifts, age of the consumer. Most important element, politics. It defines trends. Pantone had a color named Patanjal, 2019. It was a color of the year for India. You can search about this. It was called politicized saffron. And it did well. It's not a political color. It actually did well in India as a color because that was a mindset of consumers. So when you look at a lot of these color forecasts, you look at print forecasts, you look at the kind of silhouettes, they all go through various analysis. So it's a good marriage of data as well as intuition. So whether it's socioeconomic changes, lifestyle shifts, it's politics, as I mentioned, it can be anything. It can be which country has more Gen Zs. So India has become now the focal point for a lot of international brands because we guys have the youngest Gen Z population.
Correct.
And maybe it's 10 times in the next 10 combined. That's the sheer power of population we have. People are talking about tariffs and all, but domestic market in India is there to thrive. We might not have the per capita, which they say GDP numbers are figure, but our propensity to spend is way higher than the propensity to earn as individuals. So when you have that, then it's a thriving market. And when you're in a thriving market, you guys will dictate what global brands need to sell. So those are also drivers. So I gave an example at one of the events last time, that if there is more beer consumption happening, you'll have different size of men's shirts needs to be sold more. So your inventory cycle changes. Fabric zyada lagega, kind of a thing. So those things also become drivers from what will be a key product piece. So a lot of these elements get into STEPIC, which we use. Data helps us bring in accuracy, try to add certain pointers that yes, it happened. But what we do very nicely is, Rinesh, we link it back to the forecast, because that's reverse. So in that ways, it gives you a lot more accurate forecast than a number can predict.
Okay, amazing. So again, a personal question now. When you started off in your career before WGSN, did you really imagine that this is something that I'm going to get into, or this is something that I want to do, or after 10 years of my life I'm going to be at this position, of course at JDDA. But yeah, it's something that again, a personal question, because I have started off 5 years down the line for the family business, but I also want to know, does it really help? Do the thoughts really help?
See, I'll be very, very honest with you. I'm an economics finance major. I'm not from the design stream. I did a software engineering degree alongside that without any thoughts of pursuing IT as a career. But मुझे Excel और PowerPoint बहुत अच्छे से आता है, is what I can say because of that. I'm actually a Microsoft certified professional.
Okay.
Yeah, I had, at that time, I had the highest score in India in a Microsoft certification. I have a science certificate from Bill Gates, but I never pursued it as a career. And I never knew I'll end up in WGSN. So I started my career when I did graduation from Delhi University, economics honors. I came into a consulting firm, WGSN entered. I was just put on as a small junior member of the team. That's when I got to know about WGSN. I was not from the industry. I've not worked anywhere else, by the way, FYI. So it's been like
It's like,
more
it's
than a
your home
decade.
now.
So it's my home now. But the whole point is that if you ask me in terms of career, the only thing which I feel from a personal level will drive any career, and it's common to all, any field, is passion. If you love what you do, you would have heard this 100 times. I've also heard this, but actually it's the only truth when it comes to working. You do something of your own, you do something for someone else, you climb up the corporate ladder, you get into a family business, scale it up. If you love what you're doing, it's the fun part. It's not about how strong you are, how much work hours you're putting in. Just enjoy what you're doing. So sometimes, for me, longer working hours is not what thrives me. People do well. There are a lot of people who spend hours. I've got my brother who spends hours, on the screen trying to do this and that, starts early in the morning. I'm a bit more relaxed. It's fine. But the point is, I'm loving what I'm doing. And when I get into work, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm not stressed. And that's very, very important. So I think if that's where you want to shape your career, and again, it goes to a trend of being selfish, of self-care. If you're able to take care of yourself, your mental health, your physical health, you'll actually be able to work a lot more, stay happy for a lot more. So it actually helps.
Yeah. So how does the fact of 9 emotions, Navras, help in the atmosphere at WGS, or rather help the students? Because everything is again linked with emotions, right? Even a trend somewhere on the line is going to be linked with emotions. Today, 5 years back, I used to take money from my mom. Today I have my GPay. It's very simple. Actually, I'm spending more because I have access to money very easily. Cash khatam ho gaya, right? You have to go back home, get your cash and again pay. Today I have phone, I just have to tap. So again, how does emotion play a massive role in the trends and the forecast?
So see, what you're talking about is technically convenience. Emotions play the most important role when it comes to trends. We make decisions, we may take impulsive decision, but being impulsive is also an emotion. We may take calculated decisions, which again is a sense of emotion. Emotions are the most important drivers. When I said in the beginning about 3 trends, are all emotion-led trends. Taking care of myself is an emotional trend because I feel emotional about myself. My mental state will dictate the kind of colors I want to buy. My mental state will dictate the way I'm going to purchase. We've heard about revenge shopping. We've heard about anger shopping. So those are terms all coined to emotions. It does happen. Sometimes buying stuff takes care of your mental health. That's what most of the men and women would say, right? You buy and shopping is a therapy, right? So everything is linked to emotions. So when you talk about your 9 emotions, they also get a lot of significance in the way you pick up colors. So, there was a saying when people did not understand much, having red shelves in a store, it is an impulsive thing, why to buy. To be honest, they were also playing emotions. Now science came in. It's generally not red. It is how the experience you create. So the emotion senses became a lot more feeling. Rather than visual, it also depicted feeling. A feeling can be if I can just walk and I can walk on a nice path, and then there is this garment may or may not like, but the path, because it was so nice for me to walk into, I'll end up buying it. So experiences. So right now, if you talk about any retail, if there are any VM people over here, go to any VM expert right now in whatever brands globally, everybody's talking about how you can ignite senses, how you can create those experiences, whether people walk into a store or they go into an online store. So emotions always play a role.
Yeah, we also have a lot of master students over here, continuously. They have a subject called research, right? So they're on to this, honestly. I would like to open the question round to the dais, and, if you all have any questions, if you want to ask something, you can freely ask. Anybody with questions, please? Any questions for you guys? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So, what is your opinion on fashion tech apps?
Which ones?
Say styling apps. I mean, there aren't any.
So that let them develop. See, I feel good about tech. I'm very pro tech. I think anything which enables you to become a lot more productive and efficient should be looked at as is. So any fashion tech app, whether it makes you create 3D CADs very easily, is acceptable. Adobe is done so well in the fashion space. They should do well, because anything which helps you, ask people who have done designing 20 years back.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be like, we would have died to get something like this, what they're able to do now. So in an era of tech, it is very, very important. Any fashion tech, they're developing still. There's so many which are there, so choose wisely. Go to people who have experiences, who understand these techs, because there are a lot of nuances a tech needs to, help you. It's an enabler. So anything which enables you, I'm all for it. So I feel very good about any fashion tech. And there are many available here. Anybody had thought Canva would have become so good? It's an app. It's technically a tech only. It's allowing to create designs which were outsourced. A lot of people, I can also create a lot of designs inputs on the free tool. So see, for us, anything which enables you to become, or let's say enhances your creative potential, all for it. Please use them as is.
Yeah, we have one hand raising over there. Yes, yes, sir. You'll have to be a little loud, sir, please.
We used to call it a marketing game. I personally used to call it a marketing game, but that was 4, 5, 6 years back. So see, it was. Right now, it's a way of life. So I'll tell you, the biggest sustainable, let's say, drivers are actually consumers and the youngest of the lot. So Gen Zs are the bigger drivers, because see, sustainability can either be forced through legislations, which was the case. Then it started becoming a marketing gimmick. A lot of people started talking about being sustainable. हमने workforce को 1 घंटा कम काम करवा दिया. It's sustainable. By the way, if you look at CSRs and all your sustainability, there are a lot of metrics in it. Even if your workforce, you are able to give them factory, shop floor के अंदर you're giving them a housing, it's sustainability. Because वो employment satisfaction पे count होता है as a metric, and it helps clear legislations. But real sustainability, sir, it genuinely happens when consumers ask for it. I'll give you a change. Go to any e-com company. If you have been studying e-com, product descriptions have gone through a tremendous change. It's not because of chat GPTs or because people can write well. People have started becoming transparent. People are now talking about where the material has been sourced from, because consumers are transparent, they are educated, they understand what's going to be bad for them, what's good for them. So sustainability becomes a way of life, is what I was mentioning. It's no longer a marketing gimmick. Earlier, people used to talk about sustainability by default. Ho gaya. People now talk about words like transparency, which is also sustainable. It's another synonym to being sustainable. So right now, no, it's a must-have. Definitely, and it's going to evolve further. I would say social media is just there. You don't really need to visit a store. It is there for everybody to see. So it actually helps sustainability becoming a lot more forceful, I would say, a lot more stronger. It will. Anything which is there online, why do you think brands are selling online? The power of social media is too high. He started the session by saying, please tag us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, earlier time नहीं होता तो what you would have done, अगले दिन एक post up जाता, एक magazine के अंदर PR को भेजा जाता, फिर पूछा जाता, we are putting this, one picture would have gone and people would have read that magazine. Now you can do it in real time. So, but see, again, sustainability, I have my doubts on it. Everything has a digital footprint. That is also counter to sustainability. The way ChatGPT is also, it is counter to sustainability. The kind of mobile phones we're using, the kind of emissions we do, carbon emissions because of the heavy server load. So it's, again, contradictory, but yeah, it makes us feel good. So right now it's become a nomenclature, so the language will definitely change. It will no longer be called sustainable, but a lot more different words. Transparency, just one.
Yeah, so it's better to be transparent. Yeah. Now we have a lot of hands raising. We'll start with sir. Yeah. Waste being managed.
So see, waste being managed. So right now we have a lot of, by the way, there's a rise of waste management companies in India. A lot of waste management startups have come into picture. But what is happening is Waste management has become a priority. Again, I'll come back because of us, not because of anything else. They have been in Bombay. I was reading some guy, he cleaned up one Versova beach on his own because it was so dirty. I was just reading this post a couple of years back. So, and then all of a sudden things, we have something called a Swachhta app.
Yeah.
Real stories, I'm saying some departments do it. You post a picture, the departments will come and clean it. So when you look at waste management, the problem is waste eradication, we still need a lot more innovation. I'm not an expert in it, but a lot more innovation is needed to manage that waste. We have those mountains of waste. Now what we're doing is we're building walls to hide them from visibility, but wall ke piche hai. Usko clear karna is becoming very difficult. It's a challenge not with us, it's a challenge across the world. But yes, whatever little I have read, there are a lot of solutions available, how you can actually eradicate those waste or make them use. So recycling, whether you reuse products, you try to do a lot of elements with this, but eventually उसको कहीं ना कहीं dump करना पड़ेगा. Burn कर नहीं सकते हो, पानी में डाल नहीं सकते हो. So there are a lot of so many small nuances, but you need a lot of innovation in that, and it is still not there. Waste management is still not there. And you are right, if you talk about sustainability, that's why I said, it is just in its evolution phase. We are not truly sustainable at all. You will not be able to stop using waste. आपके घर से इतना waste आएगा, you can't control it. So till you do it, you can't expect the waste to be managed. Simple. It is going to take a lot of time.
Amazing, amazing.
So see, we have been using AI in any which ways. So see, FYI, if you search on ChatGPT, what are the trends for SS26? That's not trends. So AI, ChatGPT, FYI, most of the people understand AI through ChatGPTs or Groks. So let me tell you, it's technically a search engine, a very advanced form of a search engine. It is scraping information and presenting it in a much more meaningful way than just giving you links to different websites. That's the advancement. So anything which is coming on trends over there is actually from publicly available data and spaces which are already there. So when you look at transforming AI, AI for us is how we are able to look at data. We have been using it. We were the first ones to scrape online platforms. We have one of the most powerful tools. We don't sell it. We use it in-house. We are able to scrape multiple brands across the world in real time. We are able to tell you which colored dress or which kind of print has sold more yesterday in that particular country. We can do that. AI only helps you do that. Because these are trained softwares technically who are able to scrape data, give you meaningful way of looking at information rather than just using your brain. It comes to you predefined. CRM is also a way of AI. When you use a CRM system to manage your workflow, it's an AI. So AI will transform the way we do it because data will become a lot more easy to read and analyze. It will make us more efficient, but the essence of forecasting is going to still be on research, which will be enabled through AI. So we use it a lot. So we are actually very, very pro, but हम वो prompt डाल के नहीं करते हैं because that's only search which available online. You put something on Pinterest or Instagram, which is called it a trend. If that page is very, very popular or that post is very popular, ChatGPT might pick it up as a point to say, yeah, these are the top trends. So that is what you should avoid doing. See, it can be a trend which is non-sustainable also. There is a lot of fast fashion trends. Each one of them is non-sustainable. So it's not that we are predicting sustainability is one of the trends. It is not the base for a trend. It is just one of the trends. Fast fashion is still a trend. You talk about cotton and silk.
Yeah.
We're talking about jute and hemp. How many of us are wearing jute and hemp? So these are all trends. So trends will become mainstream. They'll start getting bigger and better. So I'll start with the first question when you said students. So see, end of the day, we are also in a business of making money. That's how we will survive. We'll sustain ourselves as a business. So for students, we have EDU access. We would like them to use our product. It helps them understand. So we reach out to people sitting over here that your students should have access. And for that, obviously, we'll sell because if we are in a business to sustain, because we spend millions of dollars in research alone, and we are in a business which is closed door. It is behind a payment wall, simple. Because it's very, very lucrative research. We can't just let it go. The moment we let it go, we will not sustain ourselves. and we will not be in this business. So yes, students can always ask, JD people can always ask him.
I'm on a spot now.
Yeah, he can call me and I'll work things for him that you guys should have access. You guys should have access to a lot of tools. Not only us, you should have access to a lot of tools as students. You have a lot of 3D softwares. Somebody was talking about fashion tech. So many are available. They are student subscriptions across all. Enabling your students right now, you're going to make them much more industry ready.
Yeah.
Is what a recommendation is. Because when brands are looking at hiring people, they are not going to come to JD because is you asking them, please hire somebody. They'll actually meet the candidate. They'll actually meet the student. They'll try to make sense of the student. I would rather say make their life difficult. Give them 1,500 odd students and they're unable to make a choice. That's where an education college can actually reach a level that हमारे तो सारे students are like superstars because they're trained in each and every way. Being industry ready is very difficult because again, students, grades, parents' pressure, do this, these assignments, they're all important part, but being industry ready is a different subject altogether, and that can only be done if you have a lot of exposure. Like, I'm very impressed with this event. I was telling backstage to your mom that I've attended many college events. This is by far one of the biggest ones I've seen from an edu space, and he says he does it.
Guys, a huge round of applause. This is something I take every.
And then he tells me that this is only for this center. He has some 40 plus more centers and he does it for each and every one. Kudos to you, man. A lot of time spent over there. But see, those are the things which will enable students. So yeah, we are also part and parcel. We try to do that. And sustainability, your second question, is just one of the trends. It will never become a mainstream driver. At least now, it's not. It is one of the trends. You'll have certain designs, certain products, certain materials which will be forecasted, which will be purely sustainable, but then a business has to be run, so there will be a lot more other elements. वो 60-40 का 100% बनेगा sustainable, time will tell, but yes, it's there in the pipeline. You ask any designer, you had that podcast session, you spoke about sustainability, everyone is aware. See, you need to understand, there are two different sides of it. There are questions people ask. Will people pay a premium for a purely sustainable product? You have to go and test it out in the market. But how much potential your business has to continuously test it out, एक top line, bottom line का care करना ज़रूरी है. It's important to sustain yourself while you're doing these innovations. So each and every brand is trying to do that in some way. Maybe mass brands are not doing it. But if you talk about designers, you talk about people who are working on their own labels, private labels, they have a lot more sustainable offerings than a popular massy brand which has stores. Because see, they will be able to promote it in a certain way. So if you go to their shop floors, they might have 50-60% of your, what you mentioned as non-sustainable thing, but they will try to produce 30-40% and they'll have takers also. So it's a slow and gradual thing. It will be a mix now, and it's going to take a lot of time to become purely sustainable for a lot of brands. Because if you see D2C brands right now, none of them will be sustainable, and they are the ones who are doing well. They're coming up with designs every second hour. They are coming with designs. You can't expect them to go to that sustainable bandwagon, and they are doing well. They're thriving. People are buying. So it's sad from an environment perspective, but we are contributing to it. We can't help it. But yeah, there is, what do you call it, the tortoise race is still there.
I had one question again. How do we become good leaders in the design business or a fashion business? What is your advice, or what is your suggestion rather to students and to all the people present here? How to become good leaders, especially in the Indian market? What I feel is that good leader is not someone who knows everything and should know everything. It's something that you also need to be involved into the operations part, right? So what is your take, and what suggestions would you like to put forth to this?
I think it's not for the fashion industry, but a good leader is a learner. Somebody who can learn in real time. Any which ways, if you see all the successful leaders in the fashion world, all top leaders, they've all been learning at each and every stage. They accept their flaws. So a lot of the top leaders right now are not as tech savvy as you guys would be. But does not make you better than them, because and it's not their experience. It's their skills to take a decision. A good leader is always about taking a decisions. If he understands business, it's an added advantage. But the most important element is to take a decision. Yes or no, without knowing the operational cycle of it is more important to a leader. See, I'm not a fashion design graduate. My team has a lot of Niftians, etc. But that does not make me any less. I learn from them. But yes, if I can take a decision which is right for the venture, for the business, if it's a right one, that makes me a good leader. So an understanding of yes and no is what defines a good leader. If you said filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
Director.
Yeah, film direction. Yeah.
Film direction is a very classic example of this. You are directing because you're not acting a certain one, but director is very, very important because you're making decisions at every stage. That's every business leader. Narayan Murthy is not doing the coding himself.
Yeah.
He was taking decisions on what to do, where to do, what is the acquisition I need to make, is what a business leader would do. And look at our space. So any fashion business, if you have a leader who can give a right direction and then learn how much you allow a tech-savvy Gen Z to scale up,
Scale up, yeah.
how much you give them opportunities. If you're taking away opportunities from people just because you want to show that I am the operationally good, your company will never thrive. So a good leader, good decisions, takes along people, people care, but yes, has to be ruthless.
Yeah.
If somebody is not working for you, even it's a employee, personally you can be best friends. If they're not working for business, they're not good for business. That's also a harsh decision to take. So that's what makes a good decision. Take a harsh decision, accept
It's always better to say no.
It's always better to say no. No is the best word, to be honest.
All right, moving on to the last question. Time is a constraint. Mark is going to get really mad at me. In one sentence, what does the future of design and business in India look like to you?
One sentence, I'll say one word. Potentially high. High is potential. As I said, our domestic market is the market to be right now. There is so much happening in this market with the sheer number of people we have, the sheer number of young people we have. We are the youngest right now. We are peaking at the right time. This is the market to be. For Indian fashion design, it is there. And the best part, we are becoming very culturally happy.
Yeah.
We are becoming a lot more culture driven. We're talking about local brands. We're talking about Indian brands. To be fair, this is just speaking, but what I can see, people are not trying to show off the Louis Vuittons anymore. They're very happy buying a Mokobra rather than buying anything. Why? You are giving prominence to local brands. So anybody starting a brand is a good time. So it's a good time because there is an acceptance towards Indian-only brands. It is an acceptance to give importance to startups. Look at Snitches or the Rare Rabbits of the world, or Wrongs. They're doing so well. These are brands who have come from India. They're not brands who have been driven from the West. So the international brands are somehow struggling to compete. So it's a good time. And one word, huge potential for anybody in this industry. It's huge. Domestic market, I think the best.
Again, adding on to the question, fashion students, they really contemplate that, after my degree or a diploma, do I really want to become an entrepreneur, right? I always urge them to become entrepreneurs because they're the makers of change. What is your take on that? And how would you motivate or have an impact in their minds that it is very important to become an entrepreneur?
So see, I'll just add one more word to it. So it's being entrepreneur is good. I would say just have an entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah.
Being entrepreneur does not mean starting something of your own. Being entrepreneur by spirit means even if you're working in an organization which is not owned by you, started by you, you have that entrepreneurial mindset. All the top corporates, top leaders in any corporate are the people who are self-starters, who are able to take decisions, yes or no, and who have an entrepreneurial mindset. I'm all for it. I've been like this. And I feel all of us will not be able to start brands or companies. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's a harsh truth. I wish everybody can, but sab log karenge, then you won't be able to find any workforce to work with. But essentially, few of you will be able to be successful starting something of your own. But most of you would be successful if you maintain an entrepreneurial mindset at any place you work. You work at the retail firm, you work with a brand, you start a boutique, does not matter. Have an entrepreneurial mindset in whatever you do. Then success is going to be there, for sure.
Very nicely said. Thank you so much, sir. I really want to.
My name's Puneet Dudeja. Why are you calling me so?
I really want to go on and on and on, but as I said, Mark is going to sit on my head, okay, bro. I want to start the show. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us time. He's actually flown from Delhi for us. So, guys, a huge round of applause for that.
Thank you. Thank
Air
you so
India
much.
flight 11A, right?
Yeah?
Air India flight 11A.
11A.
All right.
But I love Air India.
Yeah. So, again, thank you so much.